It's a big house that could fit multiple families. And this would be something for me to leave my children so that they wouldn't have to ever face rent again. The feeling of this is ours became more uh, just emblazoned in me because I started to share this with other people. This gives a proof of concept. This particular initiative gives a proof of concept that not only are, again, plantations sustainable here and now in 2022, because again, when people think of plantations, they usually consistently think that plantations are like these rundown old houses in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing going on around them, and they're, because there's no more slavery, no slaves are working them. They don't realize that these plantation properties, these properties are protected by a historic national registry. We are ready to take this to the national level. We built it, and if that is 9/10, why would we be building something for other? We couldn't own it. Membership is really easy, right? Especially right now. You can go on the website p4r.today, and we have different ways of being engaged with this village building concept.
Yeah, I ain't gonna have that.
You did not.
I know. It's crazy.
Well, welcome. It is Friday, so it's a couple of forevers Friday. Welcome. I am Courtney Omega Doss.
I am Devon Doss, and we are Dos Doss.
Doss. And I think we should try to do my thing this time. Yeah.
It's never been that.
Sometimes.
Okay. Get a yeah. What was it? This?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bong bong.
We could go there. I'm gonna get it right. Well, it is Friday. So this is a couple of favorites Friday, but we wanted to start with just a word of condolences to our good couple friends. The announcement today was that the husband did pass away, and we are still looking forward to having our sister join us for a couple of forevers chat, or what in the word. We've opened up both of those platform opportunities for her. So we are still looking forward to bringing you all a message from her, because she is incredibly inspiring, and I just found that there were so many similarities in our stories, and so much motivation from her testimony. So when she is ready to speak on all of this, we are definitely looking forward to having her on, and just in this moment of prayer and silence, just wrapping our loving arms around her, and wishing her, sincere condolences during this time of the passing of her husband. So. Okay, with that being said, we're gonna kick right off into it, because again, and excuse us if we started off kind of slow. We were just working through a lot of situations today.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is also why there was a little bit of a delay in regards to when we came on. But we were just working through a lot of situations today. So now that we are finally getting on, we know it's late, but you know, we wanted to fully develop out this topic before we came on. But like I said, I know that we're starting a little slow because this is not the usual time that we're on, and this is not really the usual energy that we have when we're on. So
yeah, you know, like he said, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows today. So,
yeah.
But we did want to.
Can I say something before you continue?
Sure.
Babe, you look so handsome. Like, I don't think I've seen this shirt since you've worn it since the wedding, but very rarely. I think the first time you went to church here, you wore it, and I think that's been it. I think that's the last time I saw it. Maybe Resurrection Sunday.
What are you talking about? When we was in Atlanta, at Jamal's thing.
Oh, at his reception. Yeah. No, but I mean, like, and that was pretty recent. Like, that was literally like a month ago. But like, even then, you immediately were out of it.
It was mad hot.
It was hot. It was mad hot.
I know.
You were immediately out of it. So to see you here, because you know, and before I'm looking right at you and you're immediately out of it. I'm not watching you on a screen. I think I will have to revisit, you know, your offer for later on tonight. I may have to revisit that.
Anyway, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows today. We were, like we got a little bit of bad news, and then there was other things just going on. It was a lot going on today.
It was a lot,
but
it was a lot.
We want to kind of remain somewhat consistent. And so this is why, even though we're late, we're here.
Yes, and I want to thank hubby again for that, because y'all, let me tell you what, it is very easy for me to just be like, you know what, just get caught up in my feelings. Y'all know, and I'm just like, look, I don't have to do this. I don't have to stick to the schedule, but we had a couple of very I won't say hard, but they were very much needed conversations this week about, you know, wanting to be consistent and wanting to be committed to our goals of what we want to do with this channel and with this network. And so, we want to keep showing up, because definitely we love engaging with you all. And so I had to revisit my roots a little bit with how committed I was to schedule when I first started. And so, so I want to thank you for that, for just driving that nail in. And because today would have been definitely one of those days I'd have been like, you know, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Just like so much stuff has happened, and I'm not going to be my best self on the camera. So I just, you know, we can just wait to do this another day. But opportunity did come re-emerge, and it was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it today. And that way we're still consistent with our schedule of Friday, because it's a couple of Forever Fridays, but not exactly at 8:00, which is what we usually like to go on by. Yeah. Okay, so let's get down to, and thank you so much, Naima, for your condolences. And when I want to confirm with her, I want to put they had a channel as well. And so I want to put that and link it so that when she's ready to come back on, you know, she can come back on with a whole, some more subscribers and, you know, access to this network. So I want to get her permission to link the channel in our description box so we can use that as momentum for when she comes on, because let me tell you all, she is a powerhouse. She is a powerhouse. She speaks the word just so beautifully. Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome. She speaks the word so beautifully, and she's such a woman of faith. And even throughout this whole time with having the news and sharing of her husband's condition, there was always a bright lightness to her voice, and just her faith is undeniable and it's unshakable. Yeah.
I was surprised. Because I mean when she sent the first picture.
Yeah.
And she was saying, I don't know if y'all know.
Right.
And the first picture came in, and I was like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, I don't want to say cheerful, but it didn't seem like she was down. Like she was
she was encouraged.
She was handling it.
She was encouraged. She was very encouraged.
It reminds me of I don't want to say it name.
Mm-hmm.
When Rule Man
shot? Yeah, with the gun. Mm-hmm.
So she was rock. I was a hot mess.
Yeah.
And she, but it reminded me of that.
Well, that's why I said she was definitely encouraged. Like she wasn't spry, but she was solid. She was solid. And we got on the phone the next day, literally, where she gave the whole story, the whole background of what had led up to that, because they were literally supposed to be our next couple on Couple of Favors. And we had stuff going on. We were, going to Atlanta. We were getting the kids out of town and squared away. And,
we had some technical issues.
So we did have some technical difficulties. Because the webcam that we got for the computer wasn't compatible, didn't work. Yeah. So we kept pushing it off, but we were like, okay, as soon as we were back, they were going to be the next couple. And so, I had reached out to her prior to us leaving for Atlanta. And I said, hey, when we get back, we want to get everything squared away so you guys can come on the next, Couple of Forever Fridays. And she was like, okay, great. Yeah. And then literally, we got back, I sent a message to her saying, hey, what day?
Thursday?
It was that Thursday. Yeah, it was.
Then she was like,
I don't know if you saw Sunday. It's that happened the previous Sunday. Yeah. The day before we left. No, 2 days before we left. 2 days before we left Atlanta and came back. And so, because we had talked before we left for Atlanta. And so, I was just like, reached out to her that Thursday and I said, getting ready for this tomorrow. If you're still ready, we can just meet earlier in the day to kind of go over lighting and whatnot. Like, I'm just going over, like it's business as usual. And by the time we were done with our Torah Club Bible study, she had messaged on my husband's phone, because my phone was in the back charging. And so my husband had his phone, and she had messaged on his phone that, she didn't know if we were watching their channel updates, but he had in fact suffered a stroke. And so as soon as we got off Torah, I texted and I was getting this information and I was just blown away. Like, my husband said, we both were kind of just like, wow, okay, this is, like I said, we were moving towards like, this will be the next couple. We were excited that we were going to finally have another couple back on Couple of Favors, and we weren't just interviewing each other the whole time. Even though it's fun. Oh, we need to do a drop goal. Okay. So then we got on the phone the very next day, which was a Friday. And no, I'm sorry, we got on the phone that Saturday. We text that day because I was just trying to be very mindful. And I didn't want to be, just bombard her with questions and take her away from, being at her husband's side. So we got on the phone that Saturday. I told her to call me when she was, available to chat. And we got on the phone that Saturday. And that ended up being actually a real move as well of God, because all that morning I was supposed to be moving with someone.
That was for like 3 hours.
Yes, because and that was the morning that remember the contribution was supposed to be coming back by from
I
Devs.
think Miss Lisa was supposed to come past too.
I don't think Miss Lisa. It was just Devs.
Just Devs.
It was Devs, and
Right,
she was
Devs
supposed to come
super late.
It's super late, and but it was okay because it gave us a full time to like literally talk, and we were on the phone for like 3 hours, almost 4 hours straight. And she was saying, she said, and I know my
I
faith.
took that whole safe search test while I was on the phone. That was the same day I took the safe search test.
It was, but it wasn't the whole while we were on the phone because you ended up like finishing up when I was going with.
I actually took the test.
Right, when I was going with Debs. But she was like, I know that it may sound strange because I am able to just kind of be so at peace with this. But she said, Courtney, we had a long time. We had many conversations about this. And he knew where he needed to stand with God. He knew what was happening. So, she was just like, when he comes out of this, he'll have a testimony. So that was what we were always looking for. And then a couple of days ago, they took him off of the breathing machine, and he was breathing on his own. But today, yes, he was responsive. And then today, she shared the news that he in fact did pass away. And like I said, it came like literally in the middle of the day where we were already dealing with some other stuff. And I say, and you know what I will say to that also, the other stuff that we were dealing with kind of really paled in comparison at that moment.
It did.
It was like we're dealing with a neighbor situation, and we're dealing with a non-payment situation, and but when that hit, all of it kind of just like, dang, what are we really concerned about? Look at these concerns. And so hearts go out, and we're looking forward. And the Wi-Fi was spotty. That was one of the reasons too, where I was like, I kind of, we don't need to do a couple of episodes tonight. So like I said, I do not consider it a coincidence at all that God, the Wi-Fi was restored. And then another, we were supposed to have another fellowship with our church, and that got canceled because our pastor and his wife are sick. So we were like, okay, so this God definitely is still making a way so that we can go ahead and do this today. And so again, we're here being consistent and bringing the word and bringing y'all some couple of Forever's content.
All right, let's get this show started.
And welcome, Emmanuel Briggs. Welcome. Because it seems that it might be your first time here. So hopefully you're subscribed.
We actually came with this topic. I was I don't know what I was doing. What was I doing?
On the patio?
Yeah, on the patio, scrolling. And I came across a post on either TikTok or IG, I don't know. One of these platforms. And the guy was saying that the woman's background matters. Like, you should know her background before you marry her. And I'm like, well, does it really matter? So I got to thinking, then I got to reading, then I got to look at some stuff up. So the question is, does background matter when you're talking about marriage? Like,
I absolutely think it does matter. And I don't think, once again, this came at any way a coincidence, because last night we had a pretty intense conversation in regards to our past and why they should be mentioned or why they should be considered, and how that fits when it's us going towards future. Like, we were having this conversation, and this had nothing to do with, honestly, it had nothing to do with us thinking that we were going to be doing this today. Yeah. And we, it was very intense. And because for a couple of reasons, right? Your past, I feel like it's important.
Let me be clear about something.
Okay.
We wasn't arguing. It was just intense. There was no arguing. It was just like
it was intense. But what makes it an argument? Maybe we should really clarify that.
Me screaming, you screaming, and me storming off.
Okay. All right. So no, it wasn't an argument.
Okay.
It wasn't an argument. I think we've gotten a lot better, but we are still having very intense conversations. Absolutely. There were a couple of times during that you did say, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do this. You said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this because you're yelling. You did say that. So was that point? There was one point where you were walking towards the window. No, you were telling me I was yelling. And so you said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. So was it an argument then?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I wasn't doing it.
Okay. All right. At any rate, I said that a very passionate discussion. Oh, I like that. Thank you, Naima. And it was. Oh, that was Emmanuel. Thank you, Emmanuel. Yes, it was very passionate. I don't know why, because man, these little y'all made some homemade little juice/teas. And honey,
I got one. This
thing was hydrating. This was giving me life. This one was with lemon, ginger, lime, orange. Man, delicious. But what was I saying? Oh, but I was saying this does matter because our past shape who we are. And so we can't just say, no, the past don't matter and don't mention the past and don't mention the past because, this is how I became who I am. Where I am now, I'm not saying this is the way I will always be because of course I'm still growing. We're still growing. As long as we're here every day on this earth, we're going to be continuing to grow and prayerfully always growing in the word of God. And so, no, I don't want to just be like, oh, forget my past, even from someone who doesn't like certain things about her past, but I still know that it's significant and it's important for me to be able to share that with you, my husband, with someone, because I feel like if I'm not being honest. And so I feel like for there not to be past background considered or shared, it says something about that speaks to a dishonesty. And if you are dishonest going into a marriage, first of all, that can't be a kingdom marriage. And secondly, that is done with malcontent or intent, rather. If someone says the past doesn't matter, is it really true? No.
Wait, is the past really true?
No, is it really true? Does it really matter?
No, it doesn't.
I think it does. I don't think it does.
Like I'm the complete opposite of the wife over here on this.
Oh.
On this one here.
Okay.
My thing is, look, it's in the past. Let it stay there. Let's keep pushing. We move forward.
And okay, so my thing is this. And though I agree with hubby to an extent, we push forward, but you must know what was happening in my past. And it's like what I tell my kids. I tell both of them. I call them my diamond and my son. I rarely say their names, but diamond and my son, I tell them that if someone says your past is not important, that's because they don't want you to know about theirs. And that's a red flag. That is a red flag. They don't want you to know about their past. Oh. And if they're not interested in knowing about yours, double red flag. Double. I wish I had my long hair gone.
I don't know what that is.
It would be like a boom, boom. Yeah, y'all seen this. Y'all watch these church videos. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's like a double headbutt.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they don't want to know about your past and they're just like, oh, past don't matter, baby.
Okay, this is my thing.
Run.
If unless your past is gonna come back to screw up the future that we trying to build toward, it don't matter.
But you don't know that. That's what I always tell you. This is y'all. I hope y'all are tuning in because this about to get good. Hubby said we need to go 2-3 hours, and I was like, nah, I wouldn't have to do it, but we might have to go it because you cannot control that. So you can't be. So you cannot say, well, it's not going to affect our future. If you haven't told me, dang, I used to date this one girl. She was, blah, 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 blah. And, now I befriend this. I'm just saying hypothetical. This has not happened. Though I would like to give a story about Hot Body Molly.
Oh my God.
Hot Body Holly. I'm sorry. Hotter Body Molly. Hotter Body Molly was her sister that this one made up. So this is all hypothetical. But imagine if you don't tell me that, hey, this girl was like, crazy and blah, 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 because you were ashamed or whatever. You're embarrassed, whatever. And then I'm working with someone, and y'all know because I do a lot of stuff in the community. And so I'm working with someone, and I'm like, man, I met this girl, and she is awesome, and we vibing, and we gonna do this, and we gonna do that, and we, kind of like my Chantel Double L. That's my girl. She coming over tomorrow, y'all. She coming over to come fishing. Chantel Double L. I'm excited. But
she don't even fish.
I don't fish, but I'm going to make sure that she's situated. I want to make sure my girl is situated while she's out there fishing. So I want to get her some brewskis. I want to
really.
Yeah, I mean, I want to have her. I want her to feel comfortable. I'm not like going to get her some, but you know what I mean. I want her to feel like she can break. I want her to be comfortable, and I don't want her to feel like when she comes to my pond, she can't, she can't kick back. Now it depends on some other stuff that she's trying to get back and do, but I'm trying to get official with the lingo and everything.
I don't like this is.
I heard that people that fish they like to drink. That's why they tell those stories.
Brewskis anymore. I don't think no one said that since like.
I'm going back to my
85.
story. I'm going back to my story.
Please.
At any rate, imagine if you don't know this person and you don't know he's never told you about this person for whatever reason, and he's like, shoot, this was in New York or New Jersey or, Virginia or just somewhere else. There ain't no way this is going to affect us. We in Georgia. And here I am. This girl's very friendly. We're kicking it. We're cool. And before I know it, this girl is like, hey, let's go out. Let's do some other stuff because you never get going out. And she would be right because I don't. And then, while we're out, she's like, yeah, this dude that you're married to did this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm blindsided. And not only am I blindsided, but now we're in like whatever setting she got us in. You understand? So that's like, that could be a danger to me. Like we separated. So I don't know what she's telling me this for. She's telling me this because she wants revenge on him, that she wants revenge on me, and or does she want to hurt me to get to him? I don't know, but I'm being held hostage because of information I do not know. And that is dangerous. And actually, I don't even have to think of it hypothetically. That subsequently kind of happened with your, kind of aunt, Yes. The last time we were in Atlanta, yes. And it was information I did not know. And no, does it affect us like right here in the moment? No, but it does affect us because there was, once again, things that I didn't have a choice in because you made the decision that it don't matter.
It was old family history. Anyway.
It was family history, but it still would have been appreciated for me to have known it, because of the fact that, again, I'm your family now, right? And we're moving forward, and it would have just been, it is out of respect to just say, hey, this is what happened. This is the truth of this and that. This is why I'm not close to this family member. This is why I am close. Like, this gives me, and also that would have given me better, let me finish. That would have given me better appreciation for understanding y'all dynamic. So now I totally get it. And I didn't get it before. Like I got it to a certain extent, but now I understand that dynamic because let me tell y'all something. And
We are
you
so
as well.
off topic, but go ahead.
No, that's not off topic.
We are. But go ahead.
How you figure? No, we're still talking about that. A non-discussion about your past. Great. Okay, so Emmanuel says, an honest discussion about your past is the beginning foundations of honesty in your relationship. Emmanuel, you want to come up? You want to come up? Just let me know if you want me to drop the link and you can come on up and join us because we may need to hear that. Cam up. Be ready to cam up. Anybody that comes up must cam up because this is what I'm talking about. And that's why I keep saying a half truth is a whole lie. And you can't decide for me what I need to know or what's going to affect us. That's not fair. That's not fair. But what I was saying is that in regards to people, do know this. This is something that I am learning more and more the older that I get. But this is very true. If there is a dark secret or a secret that you have shared with someone, whether you like to admit it or acknowledge it or not, but that keeps you loyal to that person. I'm going to say it again for y'all to hear me in the back. If there is a dark secret that you share with someone, you are going to be loyal to them because a part of that covenant, and it is a covenant, a part of that is not wanting it to be exposed. So you remain loyal to them for the hope that they never expose it. So this is why when something does happen that you feel is dark, you bring it to fruition. That's why Nelly had to do what he had to do.
What?
Yeah.
We not.
That's why he had to do what he had to do.
We not.
With the aunt situation.
We not.
He had to do it.
That was scumbag stuff.
No, he was making sure that we ain't gonna be in no covenant on this. Yes, I know this is gonna hurt there. And I'm telling you, I feel in my heart and soul, had Nelly not made that decision back then, him and Ashanti don't get back together. That took real courage. That took real balls. And women, we love that. And if he didn't make that decision way back, this was way before they were even talking about getting back together. Hey, coach. But well before they were talking about getting back together, he would not let that aunt blackmail him. And he was like, I'll put it out. You ain't gonna pull this over my head. I'll put it out. I'll be the bigger person. And then look, what, 3-4 years later, he and Ashanti get back together, get married, got a baby coming. Like that don't happen without that, because that took courage, that took real conviction, and that is very admirable. It is. And so but you can't say your past doesn't matter because you don't want it to. You can't say that. You have to give the respect to the other person, to your significant other, to your spouse, and especially going into the marriage. Wait a minute, Coach Malik. I'm not going to put that on here. You're not going to do that, Coach. You're not going to do that tonight, Coach. Coach, he said he had just gotten out the pool.
With his peen pick?
He said he had just gotten out the pool. He also was they said at the time was allegedly was using certain substances for his muscle growth.
Wait, there's a picture of his little wingling?
Absolutely. And I agree, Naima. I agree. Always does. And both of them together, I think they're going to be just like really happy, cute parents to those, to their new addition to the tribe. Because Nelly has, what does he have? He has 2 boys. What does he have? I forget what he has. I know he has a couple of boys, or at least one.
Moving on.
Yes, moving forward. Why past does matter. Okay. Go ahead. Because I've said my piece with it.
I didn't say past. We're talking about the background.
Your past is your background.
Okay, well, I mean, whatever. I don't think it does. I mean, I don't. I truly don't. I think if you If y'all like-minded and y'all on the same path, y'all on the same road, it don't matter what happened back there at the crossroads.
Again, you don't get to make that decision. Like I said, I mean, you don't get to make that decision. And I behoove every man and a woman not to make that decision for their significant other, to say it don't matter. Because like I said, I'm teaching my children that's a red flag. If someone says your past don't matter, that's the red flag that there. Now I understand don't live in the past. I get it. I get that. And there's a difference between living in the past and saying, hey, this was who I was. This is how I conducted myself. This is what I come from. Like literally, this is the template. This is the script. This was who I was. These are things that this is how I conducted myself. And this is what I come from. Those three things need to be discussed when you're going into a relationship with someone else. And I will say this, even when it comes to our own relationship, because we have a couple of examples we wanted to discuss, or a couple of relationships that we wanted to discuss. You will never know everything about anybody. And that's understood. And I think that goes without saying. But at the same time, everyone knows there are certain things that they do not want to tell their significant other. And it's those things that you do not want to reveal that could absolutely be the most damaging and impactful to your relationship. So as hard as it is, those are what you must reveal. You can't just make the decision that it don't matter because you don't want it to matter. That's very disrespectful to the person that you're going to do life with. And also the reason why I keep sharing the reason why I keep on this subject particularly so heavy is because like now we represent each other. And imagine I take you into a room and everyone knows I was the, just, the Courtney was just a sleep around, lay around. She did whatever with whoever, whenever, whatever. And but you told me, past don't matter. But you go into this room, you a laughing stock with these dudes. Like everybody in this room done been with you.
You know what? You laughing stock until you punch one from your mouth.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm saying. No, Devon.
Nah, because
no.
Listen.
Okay.
Look.
All right, here we go.
See.
You can't solve all problems like that, babe.
Look, and so what I'm supposed to stand there and they just laugh?
No, what you're supposed to do is come and pull me to the side, Courtney. Why didn't you tell me?
No, we'll do that later.
Okay,
we do that later.
But
no, let me finish. While we there in that room, smack where these jawbones out of socket. I'm like, all right, who's next?
Devon.
And then afterwards,
okay,
when we're gone, then we'll have our conversation.
Right. So, but that's what I'm talking about, Devon. The conversation still needed to be had, right? Did it need to be had? No.
What I would be upset is like, why you take me in that room?
Okay, because my past don't matter. That's why I took you in the room. Me deciding that didn't decide that for those other men. Okay. Me deciding that it also didn't put you in a good situation. And my thing about relationships is you should always want to put your spouse in the best situation. Okay. So that is what giving them the information. Do you understand that?
So with the information, we still go into that room?
With the information, no, we probably wouldn't. Because
so why would you take me in the room?
That's what I'm saying. Because Devon, if I am thinking that my past don't matter, if I'm holding true to the same thing that you're saying, I'm saying it don't matter because it don't matter to me, it don't matter to us. But guess what? It still does matter to them, and they gonna bring that to light.
They don't matter.
They gonna bring that to light. They do at that moment that you want to smack their jawbone out. Right.
That's only because they're talking about my wife.
Okay. Yeah. They talking about you too. They talking about you too. They talking about you.
Well,
they talking about us. And so this is why I'm saying yes, it does matter because you don't get to pick who it doesn't matter to. You don't get to do that. So out of respect, you give your spouse the full story. You give them the full story.
Yeah. And again, my first statement was, if it ain't gonna affect us in the future, it don't matter.
Okay, here we go.
So,
but it does, Devon. You keep saying that it don't matter. You don't decide whether it matters or not, because you get in a fight with one of them, and one of them they coming stronger than you, or they gang up because we gonna show you a lesson. Oh yeah, and then they beat you up. Now you in the hospital. Now you hold. Oh, not who says who? You don't make that decision.
I'm saying I got a game too.
No, but Devon, you don't make that decision if you gonna make it out of that room.
It's not.
Devon, this is what I keep telling you. Get to a point where you understand you don't control it all. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So that means that somewhere you don't make it out of that. So, a weird fall, you hit your head, you gone. But you can't get ready to fight. It could, but we're talking about in this situation. Right. You don't control how it happens. You don't control what it is affected. Who's affected by it?
So let me ask you this, right?
Well, let me read Coach Mallett statement. Let the person make an informed choice. Lies of omission matter. This is my point.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie of omission. It's like you can't change it. Don't affect nothing.
It does. You have to stop saying that, babe. Because it has affected you. Because you saying that it don't affect nothing, that's a choice. That's something that you were deciding for someone else. It don't affect you, but it could affect me. It could affect the next. You can't make that choice for someone else. And you are not in control of everybody. I know that's a hard thing for you to admit, but you're not in control of everybody. So that's why it behooves man, woman in a relationship, especially a mature relationship where you want to see a future with this person. You give them the this is a scoop of the skinny. This is the scoop of the skinny. This is what I was. This is what I did. This is where I come from. And that way, you let, again, like Coach Mack said, you let that person make that informed choice. Because when that doesn't happen, it's like almost like you didn't tell them because of the fact that you did not want, you took that away from them. You took that decision away from them because you decided for whatever reason it didn't matter to you. So it's not gonna matter to the next. And that's not cool. That's not cool. That's scary. And like I said, I strongly recommend everyone takes it that seriously, because you want to be honest and you want to, as Emmanuel said, you want to build this foundation that truth and trust is to be expected and honesty is to be expected, because guess what happens? And this is what I said too. When you're in a relationship with someone, you want to prepare them you want them to be prepared, and you want to put them in a position where they're always going to have the best, the best outcome, right? Like you may not be able to control what happens, but at least you're saying I gave them everything that they needed to be in the best outcome, because this is how we're viewed. It's not just about me no more. This is how we're viewed. So with that being said, there is also a karmic. Now it's not just you getting this karma. It's not just me getting this karma. This is us getting this karma. Tiffany Montgomery speaks on this a lot too. Like marriage is a covenant. It's the ultimate covenant, right? And we're going to be judged by our covenants. And so I can't be over here saying, and Chris Rock actually had a funny little stand-up about this before as well, but I can't be over here saying, I've never done a drug in my life and I'm married to, the biggest, he on crack. Those don't mix, because at some point, if I've never done a drug, I should kind of know erratic behavior, because I've never done drugs, so I've never experienced that. So when somebody's acting crazy, I can't just be like, oh, nah, we was married. But, I love this show. I watched a little snippets of it on YouTube, but it's called Love Don't Judge. And there are people that come from, different backgrounds, whether it's physical, whether it's age, but they have like these differences and they're together. But the Bible does say something about being with someone and being unequally yoked. And it also is a scripture that says two cannot walk together yet if they don't agree. So unequally yoked is more so, I think, a background. I think that speaks more so to background and to past. Two cannot walk together if they don't agree. That just literally means, I believe, in the unison of a marriage, like, unison of a relationship. Like, we cannot have forward progress if I'm stepping forward, you stepping back, you stepping forward, I'm stepping back. We're not walking together. We're like, we're struggling to even find a common note or common ground. So Coach Malik says, what if you married someone and then found out they did a gangbang? Corn. Wow.
What? Corn?
Yeah. What it rhymes with. Yes. Yeah.
But you can't write that on.
No, you can't.
Really?
Yeah, it's been some evidence. They definitely do it heavy on YouTube, and I'm not on YouTube, on TikTok and Facebook. I don't know about YouTube, but so people just say corn. They say corn and they say grape when they want to say another thing.
A great thing.
Yeah. That would be like what he said. Somebody just could be like, oh, that was in my past. I actually presented that to him. I didn't do it, but I presented that to him. Like, what if that was something that I had done? And he was like, oh, I would have questions, but like I would still be with you. And I'm like, ugh. Like I'm not hating on nobody that has, and they've cleaned up their life and that sort of thing. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But I have not, but I don't believe that. I think that I don't think that you would have just accepted it and been like, oh,
just accepted it.
Yeah, I don't think.
I said I'd have questions.
You said questions, but your questions, you were sounding like it was gonna be like how Bruce was talking to Monica, my brother.
Oh,
yeah, they were not like questions like
what. That's what the questions would have been like.
Yeah, you were making it sound like you were very calm and civil in that conversation, and I don't think you would have been calm and civil in that conversation had that really been true.
Probably not.
Exactly.
I mean, there still would have been questions, though. I mean, I didn't lie. There would have been questions.
I don't think it would have been a civil conversation. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I just said probably not.
Okay. And so a civil conversation. I don't know how an uncivil conversation could in any type of way you could think. It's best that you didn't. I don't think you would give that same advisement. Like, well, it doesn't matter. It's in your past. Like, nah, I think you would be irate. I think you would be justified to be so.
Well, how would that have come up?
I don't know. I know how our conversation, how it came up, if that was a possibility, but I'm not saying like in between.
But I don't remember how we even got on that.
Yeah, I think it might have been one of the questions. I think.
I highly doubt it.
No, you don't remember. You don't realize, but it was because of the questions. It was because of the questions. It was because of the questions, and I was upset, and then I was like, da, 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 and then he was like, oh, da, 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 and I'm just not, it doesn't matter, and you mad about something, blah blah blah, and I said, well, what if I was blah 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 blah, and then that's when you were like, wow. I mean, I would have some questions. I was like, wait a minute. No, like that. Your voice got so much calmer. Like you laughing, but this was. I was looking at you like you playing in my face right now.
Wait, I got calm.
Yeah, like you got calmer. Like we were like here, and then when I said, well, what if I blah 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 blah, and you were like, I would have some questions. I was like, nah, keep that same energy because you was up here. Why
would you want me to stay up there? That's crazy.
No, because then like I want you to see why I'm mad. That's what I wanted. I wanted you to see why I was mad.
So you wanted me to stay mad?
No, because I wanted you to have the same type of energy I had. towards what, was revealed to me. And he wasn't in a gangbang, y'all. So it wasn't nothing of that.
No.
It wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't nothing close to that. But it was still something that I felt like he should have shared with me. And I will give this, like, you all might know, some of you, a majority of you, we got married relatively quickly, within 4 months. So trust me, I'm learning more and more, but there are, and I won't say they're crazy things, but there are things that I'm learning all the time about them that, no, we didn't cover in no 4 months of courtship or dating. We did not. And also, too, to be quite frank, there were certain things I just didn't ask because, like I said, to be honest, I just didn't want to know. I felt like, he knew my majors and he addressed all of those. So the other stuff, I was just like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. My imagination can get the best of me, but I would rather just not harp on these minute
You want to tell them
facts.
the Holly story?
Oh.
Because that's insane.
No, okay. See, this is what I'm saying, and we had a discussion, and I ain't seen.
But listen, it's.
I ain't seen it yet.
It's funny.
I ain't seen it yet.
It's funny. It's a funny story.
Anyway,
it's a really funny story.
Okay, so this is STI, sexually transmitted infections, death, kids, crimes must be disclosed. All of those were. That's why I said all of the majors were. So this stuff that is coming out is like, it's minute to, I know, a lot of people, but the way I am, y'all got to realize the way I am, baby. The way I am, I do overthink and I have a little imagination, and I just, I'd be like, oh, this could happen. This could happen. I can go out with it. No, I think that you should say, some other stuff. No, because like I said, you ain't did nothing that we discussed in that list. Where your list at? You ain't hit it yet. You ain't hit nothing yet. You haven't. We've been almost an hour. We've been almost an hour in. It's plenty.
Minutes.
It has been plenty of opportunity, and you ain't not one. So yeah, no STIs, either one of us. Debt, we knew each other's debts, and they got worse because of the plantation attempt to purchase. So we both, I think, Devon dropped like 150, and I dropped like 100 points on my credit. So, but we already knew what we were standing.
Oh, your 100 points is kind of recent.
I know, but still. But I dropped 100 points then, and you dropped like 150. Kids, he had none, and now I had 2 livings, but I definitely I wasn't as comfortable with sharing the amount of terminated pregnancies I had. Like, I knew he knew I had some, or I had a couple. I know that I purposely didn't tell him the full amount. I was ashamed. I was ashamed about that, and so I didn't tell him the full amount until much later. Crimes, that's more so on him. I had some petty crimes though, some high school locker tryst and that sort of thing. Okay, but for the most part, the crimes were mostly on his, and he definitely did disclose those. And he was trying to tell me about these things. And I was like, I don't even need to know. I ain't even interested. That was all disclosed. What rules? You wanted your happily ever after. Understandable, right? I did, and it is understandable, but it's not. That's reckless too. It's reckless, and I will admit that it was
happily ever after.
No, wanting my happily ever after, so I didn't ask red flag questions. Like, I didn't ask questions that I felt like I didn't want to know the answers to. Because like I said, he knew my majors and he addressed those, and he was flying colors with those, but. I have a friend, and we were married for about a year and 4 months at this point, and she was saying, Courtney, do you know his triggers? She's Antiguan, and so she has an accent. Do you know his triggers? And I was just like, no. And she's like, she said, well, you have to find them out. And I was just like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to have to do that work. And she said, honorable. You must. And the way she said, you must, like, I saw her standing in front of me. Like, we were on the phone, but I could see her. Like at AF, you must. Like, don't stop playing with this. She said, that is your husband. That ain't a friend. That ain't a dude. That is your husband. You must learn these triggers and you must want to know them. And I was like, man, I gotta be honest, man. I don't even want to know. I don't want to have to do that work. I don't want to have to care about that. Like, I didn't. Money habits matter. They do. But like, it was like, okay, so, and I think we still kind of, I don't say we butt heads, but we still kind of different opinion on money. Cause I'm just like, man, if it come, if it don't, it don't. Like, God gonna always make a way. And Devon, he definitely likes concrete plans with where money is coming from. And I just be like, it's just gonna come. It's just gonna come. That's just the way it happens. It's just gonna come. I ain't been wrong though. I ain't been wrong.
No, you haven't.
Okay, thank you, babe. I remember one time, like, literally, like I said, we struggling. Well, not we, but sir, I was struggling to feed cats and a dog. But he was like, we were scratching up little change and, stuff. And literally, 4 days, we had thousands. So it's not in legal, all legal. So like I said, if you're doing the right thing, God gonna bless.
Surgery? That's when I come on surgery?
No, that was when we was about to make the down payment on the plantation. We was already been married and the whole nine. That was before. That was after that.
Oh, work dried up.
Work dried up, and then your car went down. You had to get that whole system thing fixed with the Altima, and then the tire.
Oh my God.
Y'all, not only the thousands come in, I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. Full disclosure. Not only did thousands come in because of a settlement, a preemptive strike of a settlement rather, but I guess I was it was kind of like a payoff. It was like I was just getting paid to leave out. Yeah, being paid to leave out. But that came in because they refused to, because they refused to accept the payment without the cat fees. And that was a new management decision. So we was like, okay, we don't care. Okay, we'll just take the money and we'll just go. But also the part of that was literally while we were still, because it was a considerable amount of money. So while we were still waiting for the full amount to show up in the bank account, Governor Kemp dropped those. Governor said, I ain't losing to no Stacey. I'm about to
Drop them bang
350s. 350.
I think what 2 of my tires blew?
Yes. Well, because it was one we was already,
one
and
was
then
already
the other one,
and then the other one had some, I don't know what that thing was, some big spike type thing.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then at the time, which was so interesting, at that point in time, I wasn't even on any. But if you had any assistance, I think within the past year, you were getting it. And so everybody in the household but Devon got it. Everybody in the household but Devon got it. But I got the 350. Both of my children got 350.
I think I was still a resident in New York at the time.
I believe so. Yeah.
No, Jersey.
Jersey. Yeah, you couldn't even get it.
I said that Jersey address on my
But so that's what I'm like, man. God gonna bless. God gonna figure out a way to bless. If you put in the faith, He gonna figure out a way to bless. Like, it ain't nothing to Him to accidentally move something into your account. That ain't nothing. So but that's our money habit. Kind of conflict, I guess. But we don't have too many arguments about money. We don't. You
know what?
They're easily solved, especially for him.
I just kind of like, look. So this when the money come in, I'll be like, listen, this is what we got.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we have to spend, and this has to go here.
Yeah. And I'm pretty good because we don't eat out anymore. And so that has been great. Most of the money here and there, besides his Temu addiction.
Okay. First of all,
it is an addiction.
First of all, I'm going like 4 weeks. Okay, I haven't ordered anything.
Let's first admit that it's an addiction.
I don't really. Okay, I might have had like a slight small problem. I mean, we're talking like $6-7 here.
Okay, but it don't matter what it is. It's still an addiction.
You like your ring?
I do, but
you like your chest set?
But I like the chest. I like the chest, and I don't like. I told you about the bodies. So. Anyway,
I like it,
guys.
I like it a lot.
The thing of it is that a friend of mine said once, if money is the only problem you have, you ain't got no problems, and I love that, and I kind of stick with that. But I'm pretty good at if we say it's going to go to this place, it's going to go to this place, because food, going out to eat was like my biggest. Like, I love to do that, and I love seafood, so that's more expensive of it. But when I tell you, God has been blessing them, blessing on blessing. Baby, scallops for lunch every day, baby. Okay, God ain't playing about his girl. Scallops for lunch every day, baby. And I'm talking about those big fat ones, baby. Succulent, soft, and sweet, baby.
You went in the freezer, right?
Yeah.
And this first time I looked in that box.
Oh, you saw that box? And now you see it's gone. That box is empty.
I know she ain't got this in this freezer. It was cool.
They're all sealed. Yeah, they're individual packets of scallops sealed. So Naima says, what rules should married couples follow? I think that's the first one. It's just definitely, and this is hard, and I'm saying this from my own self, who, like I said, the idea of it I have no problem with, but the actual action of it, some problems. But submission, really submitting to your spouse, and respecting his word to be final. I can't say that enough. Like I said, if I'm ministering to you, I'm ministering to myself too. That is especially coming off of someone that, for one, 7 years abstinent. Okay, so I ain't have nobody telling me to do nothing but God. And had, was running a household pretty much, 2 children. I did not think that submission would be that hard for me. I didn't. And then I realized that there was a lot that what Goldie said when she said, and she's usually not wrong, but she was absolutely right in that moment, that she said, you can't do that. This is your husband. This is your husband. Honey, she had that what they called it on the Matrix, the Oracle. She had that Oracle drawl. This is your husband.
I don't think the Oracle had a drawl.
She had a draw, like it got like stretched. Yeah, she had a stretch. Like you knew when those words where they were real and they were sound and they were So submission is very hard, but I think that is number one. And I definitely think another one of it is that the submission and also the compromise. The compromise, like to be quiet. I don't know about you, but like I said, if I minister to you, I'm ministering to me, to just knowing when to just be like, You know what though? I will say this, and I'm saying this like literally maybe over the past, I'm not even kidding, maybe over the past 6 weeks or so, 6-7 weeks. God has been, when God say, Courtney, I got it, wrap it up. And I'd be like, but you told me, God. And he's like, wrap it up. I'll do it. And when God do it, baby.
Let's rewind for a second.
Rewind.
Submission, huh?
Submission. Yes.
I like how you put that together. That was so.
Put what together?
The whole submission thing and compromise and just, it was 2 thumbs up.
Well, thank you.
Because
Coach Mallett back on that. You ain't gonna let that go. Money happens, man. Coach Melly, you ain't gonna let her buy your sis. Coach Melly say you ain't gonna get away from this court. You better stop playing guys. But if money habits matter, they do.
Because you know, I kind of got a thing with my wife submitting to me.
Yes.
I don't like the work. I guess
because that's something that you don't want to do either.
No, I see. There you go.
Here we go.
Listen.
Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. So what's
I think
scenario?
It's more about the compromise.
Here we go. I think compromise. And you know, mind you, I don't say compromise. I say compromise because that comes after the submission. Because that's why I say you are more willing to do anything once we've had a compromise. Y'all, emphasis on compromise.
Okay,
he's willing to do anything, and I mean sometimes I'll be like, I don't even want to do it, and I know he's gonna be willing, but I don't want to do it. I won't do it. That's where it comes to the submission. Go ahead and do it, Courtney. Go ahead and do it.
But I'm saying like to answer her questions. I think it's the say it again. Come on, what?
Compromise.
Yeah, what she said.
Compromise.
And sacrifice.
Obedience is better than sacrifice, though. Scripture says it. Obedience is greater than sacrifice. And so obedience is submission.
So you gotta be obedient.
You have to be obedient.
We're not talking about me right now.
No, we are always. That's why I told you, because it starts with who?
Okay,
man submitting to who?
Yeah, we gonna do that.
No, we have to. That has to be practiced in order to. That's the process. The submission and obedience starts there to there.
We gonna do that.
Then I start here to here. Then the kids start there to there.
All right, we gonna do that.
Okay.
Right here, we gonna do that right here.
Yeah.
Right, but then right here, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has to be that. That's what tricks. That's what triggers. That's what starts the process. Is your obedience and your submission. Then I submit because I know that's what you're submitting to, and I know God ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong about me. I know He ain't.
I gotta put the lottery tickets in.
Okay, and then the kids, which is the family, they're going to submit because they see parents doing that for each other, and so it causes a synchronicity in the household that is not going to be had if. Sometimes we agree, but we don't agree, and I'ma still do what I want to do. I'ma still have my account to do what he tell me I can't do, so I can still gonna pull money over here. I'm still gonna get those shoes or that bag, or I'm still gonna go out to eat. And let me tell you guys something. Just again, full honesty and disclosure. I literally, I used to if I was told, hey, this money we had to have a solid amount for, rent. And this was in, my past. And this is what I said. These are things, not sexual, but these are habits or mannerisms or behaviors that was important for Devon to know. I used to absolutely, if I had access to the account that had, I had access to the account where the bigger bills were paid out of. And if I didn't have enough of my own account to go out to eat, because like I said, going out to eat used to be my thing, baby. My dream, I remember telling a relationship counselor manager, they were like, what's your dream life? And I said a life where I ate out all meals of the day. That's literally what I said. That I ate out for breakfast, I ate out for lunch, and I ate out for dinner. And you're talking about somebody now, if I can't cook it, I don't want it. Most of the time. Baby made some great burgers tonight.
I'm thinking about dragging her out on her birthday though.
But that would only make sense because it's our anniversary too.
Yeah, I don't really care about the anniversary like that.
But I'm saying, that would make sense because it's our anniversary also. But I like to, if I can't cook it, I like to cook my meals because first of all, I control the quality and I control the quantity. You know, y'all have to see these scallops I've been eating all week are like this big. Okay, you go out to a restaurant, you get 2 of these, baby. Every day last week, I'm talking about. I'm eating about 9. I'm eating about 9. A nice little arugula salad, some mushrooms, and some bread and some brie cheese, and I'm fancy lunching it all day all days last week. I like eating like that, and I like controlling that menu. You don't get to do that when you go out to eat, and so just what I prefer. But that's where I used to spend my money, and I used to spend our money. You know, I used to spend rent money on Melting Pot. I used to spend my money on Quiznos, rent money on Melting Pot. I know God in the head should be your husband, should it be your husband or children? Most married couples say different things. Wow. Okay, God is the head, right? Should it be your husband or children? It should still be your husband. And I want to say, like I said again, if I'm ministering to you, I'm ministering to me. That's a hard one for me as well. We have had a few hard conversations about that. Because quintessentially, my children were both almost teenagers when Devon and I married. And
almost gave birth.
No, he was still 12. Oh no, he was 13. Yeah, you're right. He was 13. He was 1 year being a teen. He was 1 year into teenhood. Because he's 15 now. But not only were they teens, but they were tall teens. And but I was still referring to them as my babies. And but let me say this too. Let me qualify a bit of my statement as well. It is it's easier to allow that man to lead when the children are younger. But I want to say this, it's most significant for you to allow that man to lead when they're older, if that makes sense. Because and I will also qualify my statement. Devon doesn't have any children. And so that has been the hardest thing for me, because I feel like if he had kids, he would kind of understand these decisions that I'm making a little bit more. Because again, I have a diamond and a son. So it's not just, hey, having a man in the house to show my son how to be a man. Because both of them still have access and they still have contact, of course, with my ex-husband, as well as my daughter's father. Consistent contact. Like, you know, this is not something that just every now and again, but there's nothing that can take the place of that in-home presence, right? And in-home presence is, of course, my husband. But my husband does not have any biological children. So it has been very hard to just kind of accept that he's learning too. You know, because I want to tell him, hey, and I do often. I'm not just wanting to tell him. I do often tell him, hey, talk to him this way. This is the way to get more of an effect out of, you know, my son. Talk to Niani this way. I always say, I don't even say their names a lot. Yeah, I did. But this is my daughter, and this is why she reacts a certain way to certain things. Because, like, again, you have to realize or have to consider that though, yes, they have contact with their fathers and my ex-husband. This was my house, you know. I mean, it was just us and God, and it was us and God for a long time. So no, it's not gonna be overnight. It's not gonna be a year. It's not gonna be 2. I said this is gonna be work every day.
You know, with the
Diamond, yes, she is. That's a diamond in the rough right there, baby. But she's brilliant.
So when I'm showing how to drive,
yes,
and she did something, I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, "What are you doing?" And you know, I went through my.
You freak out?
Kind of, sort of. Oh,
he freaks out.
She very calmly, she looked at me and said, "That's how you do it."
Yeah.
I wanted to really be mad at her. I really did. But like, okay. So then that's when I told her, like, listen, I have a license. You don't. Let's get yours first, and then you can do it the way you want to. But until then, do it this way.
Yeah, but like I told you, even in that statement, you have to do it the way you know it should be done. You have to continue to practice it too. That also is the responsibility of parent and of leader, that we know it's the way it should be done. We can't be a do as I say and not as I do, because again, we try to bring up a kingdom village through this family. And this is a practice that we must be consistent with and committed to have the progress, because ultimately they are going to do as they have seen, not as they were told. And if we know this could be of a detriment to them in any area of their life, then we've got to put a different objective in front of us, right? So it has been a bit difficult for me to see that and undergo that and understand that that's just not his portion. He has not had to do that. And so this to me seems like, man, this is another great example of background. Like he says, rather, when his mom said do something, it was done, and it wasn't no question. My parents, when my mom do something, it was done as well. But it also was a reason why when I got out of there, I never wanted to go back. And then I got out of there, and my mom was gone, less than a year later. And it does change the relationship. And even though it may not have for him, I told him from very early on, I don't want to lose my son. Like, I know my son's attitude is the pits in a lot of regard, but they're very smart, brilliant children, but they have been used to being raised with a single mom who, they saw me get things done. And so they think that as long as they got me, that's it. That's all they need. And that has been a harsh lesson as well, because like I was telling my, daughter early on, I said, I don't want you to think that, that you can do it by yourself. And she said, but you can. I remember one time she needed something. She needed her phone bill paid. And she actually got mad at me for asking her dad. And I was like, Diamond, why are you getting mad at me? And she said, because I thought you had it. And I'm like, why I gotta have it? I said, he could pick this bill up. No, I don't have it. But she was just like, I know. And then, she fixed her face, and, we hugged it out. But yes, my kids are used to me getting it done. And so again, this is like, these have not been the easiest conversations, but I tell my husband all the time, you have to realize, what are you contributing? Because they saw mom get it done. They saw mom organize moves. They saw mom organize, we need to get from here to there. So, though my husband has a license, I've never had a license, we still got around. Though, he had a great credit score when we got together and I didn't. We still stayed in, fairly nice places. We've stayed in great homes. They have seen me get it done. And so he has to consider, what is he contributing? What is he providing for them, that he knows that, hey, it's his presence. Without him, this doesn't happen. Or because of him, this does happen. And that's something that's where the trust builds. That's where the relationship builds. And that's where the merging starts to happen. So that's a hard one, but it's a conversation that definitely does need to be had very consistently with your significant other. My mom made it look too easy. That was what I was doing with these kids. Like, but I tell you what, my daughter, she is the sweetest thing. And you know my kids, Koji Malik. But she said, she would say, every time me and him would have like a really just a big argument, she would say, y'all have to figure this out because mom likes having help. I don't want to see mom. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her crying again. I don't want her breaking down. Because I would always I'd be like, I needed at least 2 breakdowns a month. 2 breakdowns a month. And then I would pick myself back up. But man, I'm talking about crying and crumpling and banging on the floor.
So
dramatics.
So I asked him, this is probably 3-4 months ago, maybe 5. I'm trying to think, it was before I left. No, it's after I came back.
Yeah, it had to be after you came back.
After I came back. So this is like in March. And I asked him, what's different? And like, it wasn't at the same time, but it was very, very close. She doesn't cry. She doesn't cry as much. I said, what do you mean she doesn't cry as much? Like, no, it was, well, what's this say she doesn't cry? I said, what are you talking about? She was probably crying yesterday, right?
I was crying yesterday?
I don't know. That's what I said. Because you cry. You almost cried when I showed you the thing right here.
And what you do?
I kissed you on your forehead.
No, I'm talking about what you do. I cry and what you do.
I tell you to stop.
Thanks. That helps.
But I'm just saying. So I'm like, what are you talking about? They like, no, she used to cry. And then Keon told me about a couple of breakdowns, and I was like, nah. He was like, yeah. So it's okay, baby. I got you.
No, we don't have another conversation after we get out of here. But
no, I'm just saying that this is so it's reinforcing what you just said.
Okay, but there are other things that can reinforce as well. Things that I've been saying, that things that you need to be able to contribute to show that you can do, and that you can be there for them in ways that I can't, because that's the way they value your relationship more too. Because you need to have a relationship with them outside of me. And
okay,
so,
well look, Neon is learning how to drive.
Right.
Keon's hard.
Son is a little bit more difficult, but he still is.
He's doing punches though.
He still is. He still is observing, and he still is looking, and he still is. He still is soaking in, right? And so we want to make sure that we're giving him the right output for him to intake. So that's how I would love for the consideration to be had.
What's going on right here?
Wait a minute, what's going on? I'm talking.
The archer on your back. What's going
on? Okay, I'm talking to you. Is what I'm doing. So yeah, I think for the most part, too many of us make it look easy. And I think that does send a bit of a different message to the next generation. And I always wanted both of my children to know and to want to be married, not just to know that marriage was significant and important, but to want to be married, to want that union, to want that togetherness. And also, like, for lack of anything else, or for lack of a better term, I wanted them to understand and appreciate that the power of a unit that is significant to growth and to progress. He'll be that way for a while. Boys are protective of their mothers. Yeah, he definitely. I just think Keon, my son, in general, is very. He's a lot like his mama. And that didn't even have to do nothing with being protective of my mom. It just, man, everything is everything was a discussion. Everything is a battle, man. He is just he's a tough cookie to crack. He really is. And not that I want to crack him, but he's very like committed to this is who he is and what he is, even if that's a playing game and eating just all day. That's who he is. That's who he is. But I will say this, and I've been most encouraged by, especially these last few months. He gets in his journal. I gave him a little journal last year for his birthday, and he gets in his journal a lot more, on his own. I'll be like, Keon, you wrote, son, you wrote in your journal, and he'll say, well, I call him King, and I say, King, and I love when I tell my daughter, I say, summon the King. She just yells out his name. It's like a trumpet. Mom wants you. And I'm like, that is, I could have done that. But I say, summon the King. Summon the King. And she'll yell out for him and he'll come to me. And I said, I could just imagine us being in the castle. And I say, Princess Diamond, summon the King. And she goes to get the king. And he comes, or the prince, he comes to me and he'll say, I'll say, we're about to go to war. So we need to send the troops in. We need to send them in 2 days ahead of battle. And he'll say, yeah. That's his MO. That's his answer of everything. Yeah. Mid, peak. Yeah. But I'm waiting for him to develop that. Because I was when I tell y'all, having a son, in our cultures, a woman could only be queen if she would produce an heir. And baby, I produced an heir. So I am always excited to see how he grows and see how he learns. Like I said, my daughter is she's sunshine and rainbows. Literally, her sunlight is her name on social media. But my son, honey, those are some storms are brewing. So we have questions. So we're gonna close out our show today with some questions. When you want to give up, what keeps you going? What? I just said it. Wow. Y'all, God don't play. That's what my question said. When you want to give up, what keeps you going? Definitely know that God's got me. God's got me in general, but my babies, they're sweet, they're amazing, they are smart, they're funny, and they've been my tribe, man. They've been my besties for way too long.
Okay. What is a goal you have that you can work on now?
That's good.
All my stuff is crossed off except for
the sanctuary manager
thing.
Mm-hmm.
The truck thing that's being worked on like literally right now.
Yeah.
Everything else is crossed off.
Well, it don't have to be on the board. It could be something else.
I've been going by the board because I wrote it down. So I'm sticking to the list.
So his question was, what's a goal that you can work on right now? I think we can look at that other board next to it, and there's some goals on that, and maybe on those tabs that you took a list on last night.
Yeah, but that's in the book. That's something different.
Okay, that's still a goal.
I'm smashing those off too. I gotta get you a board, the chest thing.
No, I'm talking about the blue board, the intimacy chart.
Oh, that's something different though.
That's still a goal.
That's not like a goal.
Oh yes, it would be.
Nah, but that ain't nothing but a list of dates.
But I'm saying that the intimacy chart in what is going on these are different goals you can put together to relate to the intellectual, to the spiritual, to the emotional, to the physical.
Okay, so you're all close up. Like I said, that's being worked on now. So what are you doing?
You can always come up with a goal.
Yeah, it was one thing at a time.
You can still come up with a goal.
Well, I ain't finished that one. I've been knocking things out.
Okay, well, there are other things that we could knock out together. We can have some goals.
Well, you need to see like together goals. You just said like,
what's a goal that you can work on now? That's still
you.
What any goals that a goal that you can work on could still mean it's a goal that will benefit us.
It says, what is a goal you have?
Yeah.
That's me.
But I'm saying it would be nice if you had a goal for yourself that you knew would benefit the both of us too.
Well, we do. I crossed them off already.
No, Divine, if you cross them off, make a new one. You make a new goal.
I ain't finished with that list right there. Finish with this, make a new list.
You can make a new goal. You can make a new goal. At any rate, that is our time. Emmanuel says, that's great that you guys have goals. Yeah, we started this chart and we've been like you said, we've been working on, so we've made it in two sections. Some of them are personal, like that we can do for each other, and the other is like, God God intervention and making a way to kind of have these things happen. But definitely looking forward to all of them coming to fruition. But remember, goals we want to have the SMART approach. They must be what's our S?
I don't know, that was your thing.
They must be strategic. They must be marketable. Like time, like measurable. Like, hey, you consider them at this time. They must be action oriented. They must be realistic, and they must be you must have the T. You must have
tangible.
Not tangible. I think it was also time. It was something to do with time, the timing of it. Like they had to be measurable. Like, you could get, if like your goal was to be to a goal weight, you would have them be, you would say, okay, by this particular, you would have 20% of your goal, and then the T was time oriented. So it just kept you in that same mind frame of they had to be smart, they had to be strategic, they had to be measurable, action oriented, realistic, and time sensitive. You just couldn't put in I want to weigh this way and it don't have a date in mind. Great show. Thank you, Emmanuel. Woo, woo, woo. We appreciate you all for riding with us. That is our time, hour and a half. Make sure you join us, join the Village Build, because this is not just about what we're doing on here, but it's about what we're doing beyond the boards. And so again, we are going to invite you all to be a part of P4R.today. That is our newsletter. And we are going to see you all again, Lord willing, on Wednesday for a dynamic conversation for What in the Word that you do not want to miss. And again, you all have a blessed weekend. And keep in mind that you never know what somebody's struggle is going through. Thank you, Coach Malik. Sounds like something that you learned in nursing school. I'm always trying to just pick up little nuggets or little jewels from here and there to just, because honestly, this relationship is the, it feels like it's like the comeback of my life. And I want to put everything in place so that we are winning. We are winning. And so I'm gleaning from this podcast, from this book, from this movie, from this scripture, but it does all go down to just really thanking God for the second chance and asking for those steps to be lined up accordingly. But until next time, y'all know what to do. Glow up.
This goes back to we write our own narrative. So when you go to a school and you open up a history book, what they do is they teach you, okay, they teach you about plantation life. And all they show is the trauma. All they show is the whippings, the hangings, the picking the cotton, the bloody feet, the bloody hands. So this is all you know. Because up until Courtney, that's all I knew of the plantation. That's all I even thought about the plantation. Like, why in the hell would I ever want to step foot on somewhere or something that caused so much pain and trauma to my people, to my ancestors? Courtney changed that narrative for me. She gave me a different outlook, to say. And she said that I said, but I got it from her. But there was life on these plantations. You know, without them, there would be no us.
Right.
So they made families here.
Right.
They laughed, they joked, they partied, they did everything that we do. You know, in spite of the trauma, they still managed to get through it. And through them, we have us. So we owe them.
Yeah.
We owe them.